Disney and its television broadcast network ABC are taking the Trump administration to court. The media giant accuses the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, of violating its First Amendment right of free speech. It says the agency's move to initiate an early review of ABC's broadcast licenses is, quote, part of a sustained, coordinated campaign of censorship and control. In the lawsuit filed in a U.S. district court, Disney accuses the Trump administration of, quote, waging a retaliatory campaign against ABC, continuing the quote here, for a single reason, because it disapproves of what ABC broadcasts. Joining me now, Timothy Zick. He's a John Marshall Professor of Government and Citizenship at William & Mary Law School. Timothy, good to have you. Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me on.
So the legal standard here on retaliation is the company's got to prove that the actions taken were caused by or the result of its protected expression. So how do they prove their case, and how strong is their case here?
Right, so they've got to prove three things. One, they were engaged in protected speech. That's easy. They're engaged in editorial decision-making as a broadcast company. They also have to prove that a person of ordinary firmness, that's the sort of legal standard, would have stopped speaking in response to the government's retaliatory actions. And the third element is the one that you suggested. There has to be a causal link between the government's actions and the speech, the protected speech. How do you prove that? Well, the complaint in the case is 46 pages long. It is chock full of details about two things. One, the sort of timeline of retaliatory actions that have been taken against ABC, linked to the broadcast of content the administration, the FCC, does not like. So, for example, the Jimmy Kimmel kerfuffle about his comments about the Charlie Kirk assassin, the broadcast station's criticism of the Iran war, for example, things that were said on The View, those sorts of things. And in addition, statements, public statements, by the way, these weren't sort of privately made, by the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, and President Trump, essentially giving the whole thing away by saying we should just pull the licenses of these broadcast stations because they're broadcasting negative content or content we don't like.
You make the point that the timing of each of these steps is some of the strongest evidence here, that each move followed specific, as you know, public statements or complaints by the president, even Trump's Truth Social post that we can still look up ourselves.
Right. It's sort of a roadmap for retaliation, if you will. The president posts something on social media, or he says something in a public statement. The FCC chair, Brendan Carr, makes his own public statement, sort of amplifying the president's words, and then that's translated into some retaliatory action. In this case, multiple investigations of Disney and ABC, culminating in, as you said in your lead, this sort of early review process, which is extraordinary. Right? As the complaint points out, most of the station licenses aren't up for review for a few years now. Some of them are only halfway through their license terms. So the complaint says, that's not a process that's been used for over half a century. So it's extraordinary, but it's part of this sort of campaign of pressure, escalating pressure, cumulative pressure that the administration has tried to put on ABC and Disney.
Big picture question here, because this case really is about more than ABC, because of course ABC is not the only target of President Trump and the FCC. If the court finds in favor of ABC in this case, how significant is that for other media outlets?
Well, the first thing is significant that ABC fought back. So there's been a lot of criticism of broadcast stations, universities, law firms, lots of others who have sort of capitulated to this kind of pressure. So that's the first thing. It would be a significant win, no question about it. Would it put an end to this sort of campaign of pressure? It's hard to imagine it would. As you point out, the administration's gone after other broadcasters, local stations, for example. And it often works, right? So even if they lose this case, for example, they may still decide on balance, we'll just keep on with our pressure campaign because it works. But it would be a significant win for ABC. It would be a model for other broadcasters and target to this kind of retaliation to follow.
Professor Timothy Zick, we appreciate you walking us through it.